Good evening, and welcome to Interlude, our midweek service. My name is Reverend Nina Clark, and I'm so glad that you've joined us this evening, or whenever you join us, even if it's later and you're looking this up later. Welcome. Glad you're here. Shall we go ahead and open with prayer? I invite you to just take a breath, settle right where you are, whether you're in a chair or sitting by a pool or laying down, sitting in front of the air conditioner with it blowing on you, wherever you happen to be. Just take a breath and allow yourself to come right here to this moment. And if you would, allow my words to be your words. In my heart of hearts, in the very marrow of my bone, in every particle of my being, I know that there is no spot where God is not. That everywhere there is to be, God is. And therefore, everywhere that God is, all that is God is. So wisdom is everywhere that God is. Love is everywhere that God is. Life is everywhere that God is. Intelligence, power, peace, everywhere that God is. And so this very breath that we are breathing right now is of God. And that means that all that is true of God is true of this breath. We literally inhale wisdom, inhale intelligence, inhale love, inhale peace. Just sit with that for a moment, with the knowing of that. Every particle of my being is of God. It can be no other way. And knowing this to be true, all that is true of God is true of us. This breath we breathe is holy. We are holy. I am holy. Because God is right where I am right now. And knowing this to be true, embracing this as true, accepting it as true, I allow a sense of awe and wonder and profound gratitude to rise up in me. And so it is. I'm sure that you've all heard the saying that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over while expecting different results. And yet, don't we do this anyway? Most of us live here in at least some area of our lives. We might be bold and open to change in our work lives, but we parent the way we were raised without questioning it, or we're unable to see or make changes in how we are in friendships or with a romantic partner, or how we treat our body or how we eat. Conversely, we may be open to change in our personal lives, but absolutely rigid when it comes to our work lives. I think of a friend of mine who desperately wanted Thanksgiving to be different every year. She wanted it to be less stressful. And yet every year she did the same thing, and it was always stressful. Or another friend who wanted to trust her own choices, but whenever she had a choice to make, she would call everybody that she knew. And when the consensus came in of however many agreed with one choice over another, when that was finally all tallied, she would just go with whoever the group that made that one choice more often, who had chosen that one choice. And that's how she would make her decision. And even if that went against what she knew in her heart was the right thing to do, she would still go with the group's consensus. And she was rarely happy with the outcome. And she kept doing it that way over and over. Or I think of the husband of a friend of mine who always complained that his coworkers avoided him and wouldn't include him in going out to drinks after work. But he kept one-upping them in meetings and talking about only himself and not expressing any curiosity about them or their lives. And he kept repeating that and complaining about not being included and repeating that. How much of what we do and repeat over and over is just unconscious, or maybe out of fear of change, or because it just never occurs to us to question it? And why do we do this? This repeating of the same thing over and over and over while expecting a different outcome. I think one of the reasons that we do so is that we think that we're safe. We think that we're safe, that we're safe doing those same familiar things. We think we are. We think that we'll find safety in sameness, in inertia, in non-change. But I think this is an illusion. I don't think this is where safety lies. I think safety lies in change. Change is happening all the time. We see it all around us. Our planet is constantly changing. The seasons change, day changes into night, changes into day, changes into night, with no 2 days, no 2 nights the same, ever. No 2 sunrises or sunsets the same, ever. Rivers change the beds that they flow in a little bit every minute as the rushing water erodes stone and dirt away from the banks. The wind moves dirt this way and that. Leaves land and blow to a new location. Weeds spring up in new places. Roads decay, buildings decay. Our bodies are constantly changing. Our kids, constantly changing. Businesses come and go, people come and go. The top 40 song list changes, the New York bestseller list changes. I believe that our safety lies in the embrace of change and waking up every morning with a knowing and an acceptance that it will be different from the day before. I think that's where safety really lies. Author Emmett Ray wrote, "A bird is safe in his nest, but that's not what his wings are made for." And I would add, the bird is not really safe in his nest. And so I've been asking myself this question lately: what patterns have been governing my life? Where within myself have I been resistant to change? I think it's a good question if I want to be more free, to be more at choice, if I want different results from what I've been getting. What patterns have been governing our lives? What do we need to break up within us so that we can have something different show up in our lives? Where within ourselves have we been resistant to change? Where have we been unwilling to look? It's a good question. If we want to be more free, if we want to be more at choice, if we want to get different results from the ones that we've been getting. If we want to be more than who we currently are, I think we have to be first willing to be more. We have to be willing to break the patterns that keep us where we are. We have to be willing to break the mold that confines us to the shape that we currently inhabit. If we want to love more, we have to break the mold that says we can only love this much or in this way. If we want to receive more love, we have to break the mold that says we can only receive this much love. If we want to be wiser, then we have to break the mold that says we can only be this wise. If we want to be more powerful, we have to break the mold or the pattern that says we can only be this powerful. I see it kind of like those Russian tea dolls, you know, the ones that are nesting and they stack inside of each other. And as you remove the outer doll, it reveals a smaller doll inside, and then when you remove that doll, it reveals another smaller doll inside there. But I see this in the reverse, that as we break open that outer patterned layer, we reveal another doll, but it is larger than the one we just opened. And when we break that one open, the one inside again is larger than the one we just opened. And as we shatter our protections, our habitual unexamined thinking, our concretized identities, we reveal a larger and larger self. And this can be uncomfortable. This will likely be uncomfortable. But don't let that discourage you, and don't be afraid of it. Take heart from the voices who have gone before us. On the other side of discomfort is greater freedom, greater choice, and a wider, brighter vista. Each time we deconstruct that outer shell that we think has kept us safe, it gets easier to do the next one, until we find ourselves in the flow of change, the flow of life, fully present, accepting of the now with all its gifts. Will you join me in a time of meditation this evening? I invite you to settle into your chair or recliner, floor or bed, sitting or lying down. Make yourself comfortable, trusting that your body knows just what it needs to do to get comfortable. Allow your eyes to gently close and take a deep, slow, cleansing breath. And as you exhale, just allow your body to begin to relax. Follow a couple of those breaths in and out, and allow your body to relax into this now moment. Go ahead and let go of your day, all the things that you've done prior to this moment. And let go of that to-do list that's waiting for you on the other side of our time together. Go ahead and let it go. It'll be there waiting for you. Just bring all of your attention to this moment, right here, right now, and allow yourself to just be here. And notice that you are being breathed. Thich Nhat Hanh says, breath is the bridge which connects life to consciousness. Spiritual teacher and author Christian de la Huerta says that the breath has intelligence. Of course it does. It is the infinite life force energy. De la Huerta goes on to say, we are being penetrated by the holy breath, by the breath of life. I invite you to hold this awareness of being infused by the holy breath of life, of intelligence, as we breathe our meditation this evening. Bring your attention to your feet and just take a moment to be present with your feet. You don't have to change anything, just notice your feet. And now as you breathe in, imagine that breath traveling down to your feet. Know the intelligence of that breath as you breathe that holy breath of life down into your feet. Bring your attention to your legs and just take a moment to be present with your legs. And then as you breathe in, imagine that breath traveling down to your legs. And know the intelligence of that breath as you breathe that holy breath of life into your legs. Bring your attention to your abdomen and just take a moment to be present with your abdomen. And as you breathe in, imagine that breath traveling down to your abdomen. And know the intelligence of that breath as you breathe that holy breath of life into your abdomen. Bring your attention to your chest and take a moment to be present with your chest. Now, as you breathe in, imagine that breath moving to your chest. Know the intelligence of this breath as you breathe this holy breath of life into your chest. Now bring your attention to your back and just take a moment to be present with your back. And as you breathe in, imagine that breath traveling down your back. And know the intelligence of that breath as you breathe that holy breath of life into your back. Bring your attention to your neck and just take a moment to be present with your neck. Just notice your neck. Now as you breathe in, imagine that breath traveling to your neck. Know the intelligence of that breath as you breathe that holy breath of life into your neck. And bring your attention to your shoulders and take a moment to just be present with your shoulders. And as you breathe in, imagine that breath traveling to your shoulders. Know the intelligence of that breath as you breathe that holy breath of life into your shoulders. Bring your attention to your arms and hands. Let's take a moment to be present with our arms and hands. And as you breathe in, imagine that breath traveling down your arms and into your hands. And know the intelligence of that breath as you breathe that holy breath of life into your arms and your hands. Bring your attention to your face and your head and just take a moment to be present with your face and head. And as you breathe in, imagine that breath traveling to your face and head. And know the intelligence of that breath as you breathe that holy breath of life into your face and head. Allow yourself to just be present with your breath, present with the experience of the movement of air in and out of your body. Allow yourself to know the holiness of each breath the sacredness of being breathed, the intelligence of the breath. Each breath is completely unique, perfectly adjusted to the needs of this specific moment. Allow the holiness of this breath. Allow the intelligence of this breath. Allow the wisdom of this breath to break you open again and again and again, knowing that each time you surrender a layer, you get bigger, not smaller, stronger, not weaker, safer, not less so. And so it is.
We believe giving in its highest form is a spiritual practice, and we are grateful to be among the beneficiaries of your spiritual practice this evening. May your generosities of hand and heart return to you in untold ways as they reach into our greater world to bless.
Thank you for being here this evening. If you'd like, feel free to take this affirmation into the rest of your week. I am willing to crack open the mold of limitation I inhabit and step into a greater me. Blessings. Blessings on your week. Namaste.
I release and I let